talking about Winning Time, the HBO special on the Lakers, and the problems that Jerry West has with his own depiction. I should admit up front, I haven't seen the series, but in the bigger sense, when something like this happens, you get depicted by your name and all the rest of it. Like, what right have you got to recourse this?
So I understand. I tried to put myself in Jerry West's shoes. Jerry West is, I think in his 80s now. You don't want to be remembered this way. And I get that. I mean,
now, which way? The way in the show or the way in the show?
And the reason why is because there are a lot of people, we know this through politics and the world and entertainment, people look at video and believe it's an accurate depiction, even though it has comic relief in it. So I know it's not real. Most people who have been around long enough know it's not real. But there are people that will pick up stuff and say, that's the real Jerry West, which would mean he would get heckled for being whoever this character, Jason Clarke, is playing, and not the real Jerry West. So I understand why he's sensitive about this, especially later on in his years. That being said, I think he's missing an opportunity here to be a part of this show, to show the depiction and the real way that the Lakers were run at that time. And so are the other Lakers that are still alive, an opportunity to go opposite of this and create a podcast, create a show. I'm surprised the Lakers haven't jumped on this. I would be surprised if the Lakers didn't come in and say, every episode after every episode, we are going to get real people's comments from people who live the moments.
You want Jerry West to do a podcast?
Yes.
You think that guy can text his grandkids and you want him to do a podcast?
Listen, Duffy, he thinks he can win in the Supreme Court. So, I mean, you might as well, if you think you can take it that far, create your own media content.
He's making a massive mistake here, right? Like, all you're doing is bringing more attention to the character that is on HBO.
Should have just left it alone.
Like, look, all right, I understand that this is a guy from a different era, right? And her reputation's everything. Look, man, in the world we live in today, the more complaining you do, the worse people it's going to be, because more people are going to want to see it. And like, look, man, you got to be Jerry freaking West your whole life.
You're the logo.
You are the logo of the league. You've made God knows how much money. You got to work in front offices forever. Like, if this is the worst thing that happens to you, that's a pretty good run.
You're going to do stand-up comedy, though, and you've done a lot of it. Do you ever find yourself feeling bad for the person you're going after? And maybe this isn't a good analogy, but he's somebody that this show has kind of gone after.
Sure, but like, I look at it this way, right? Whenever anyone has anything bad to say about how they're being depicted anywhere, right? You're going to look me in the face and tell me that you haven't done something in your life where you might deserve something like this, right? Look, I understand that this is a characterization and it's all supposed to be funny, but you want me to believe that Jerry West, in the era that he came up in the business that he was in, lived his entire life in a way that nobody can criticize him for anything that he's done? You don't, and that's the other problem. If you want to stand up and say this isn't me, you better be ready for the people that know, who actually know you, to come out with authentic, actual stories.
See,
Do you want that done to your life?
No. But here's the thing, though. I think Duffy brings up a very good point. If you're saying this isn't me, tell me what is and tell me what's not. Because there are people that are still alive that did live that era and will give you a real depiction of it. And I get it. I wouldn't want my life portrayed that way without my control. I get it. If Jerry West had his control, it'd be a little bit different. Maybe he'd be depicted, but not as funny. The interesting part here is that HBO is defended it, basically saying this is not a documentary. Like, when you watch, Bill, the first episode, you know exactly what you're in for with John C. Reilly. You know exactly what this is. The moment you watch it, you don't take it serious.
Then is it fair to use real names? If you're going to say this is fictionalized, but this is Jerry West, this is Jerry Buss, this is Magic Johnson.
Yes, because I think if you had gone with fake names, nobody would watch it.
It sounds like you have a problem with this.
Well, I feel for the guy a little bit, but my feeling is that, like, it would have been best for him to just sit on his hands and let it go.
Yeah, and I mean, look, ride this wave. I know that you don't need any more money, you don't need any more fame or anything like that, but like, if in my personal philosophy, if you take yourself too seriously, things are going to go really bad for you. Have a good time with it. Lean into things. Have fun. There you go. You're welcome. There's
Say
your
it
note.
again.
I forgot what I said.
If you take
Get
yourself too
Pat
seriously.
Riley, get every player that's still alive on the Lakers and do your own thing. The Lakers create their own content off of the court, what they're really doing.
Yeah, Jerry West podcast. It turns out it was just an hour of him talking into his hairdryer.
And more people are going to watch the show as a result. It says, boy, I wonder if it really is like that.